What's going on, everyone? I'm Encore. This is Tomorrow Never Comes. And today, on a very special day for me and my family, it's happy birthday, happy 5th birthday to my eldest daughter, Mahi. So on this day today, I wanted to share with you what is a DEX. Maybe you've heard of it, maybe you haven't. But DEX stands for Decentralized Exchange. And you might be even wondering, what does that even mean? So if you think at most things that we do in life financially, there's always some intermediary. There's always some platform that quote unquote helps us do what we want to do or what we're not capable of doing on our own, and usually takes a good chunk of change out of our transaction when we do. Well, a decentralized exchange is really just an algorithm, a platform built around an algorithm that's going to execute certain commands based on the input. There's no person behind it, in terms of manipulating the transactions or executing them. There's no entity in terms of a corporation trying to profit from it or not. It's literally just code that's going to execute certain things based on what has been inputted. That's it, right? So the formal definition, if you look down here from Coinbase, is a decentralized exchange. A DEX is a peer-to-peer marketplace where transactions occur directly between crypto traders. DEXs fulfill one of crypto's core possibilities, which is fostering financial transactions that aren't officiated by banks, brokers, or any other intermediary. So that's the key right there, is that you are transacting peer-to-peer. If you're buying something, you're buying it off of a peer directly. And if you're selling it and vice versa, it's the same thing, right? If you sell it, you're selling it directly to a peer, and there's no middle platform taking or kind of either facilitating it or interrupting it or taking a piece of the pie, however you want to think about it. And so there's quite a few popular DEXs, or quite a few known DEXs in the space. But if you're new, a lot of times the biggest one you'll hear is with Uniswap, and that one is built on the Ethereum blockchain. SushiSwap as well, as mentioned here in this little definition. But there's a bunch. I mean, there's DEXs on Avalanche, Cardano, BNB, like you name it. If there's a chain out there, chances are there's a corresponding DEX as well. But I'm going to stick to Uniswap because that's the one that I learned on. That's the one that most people have heard about and are pointed to when first doing certain things. So I just wanted to kind of go through what that's like. And one of the biggest things to note. So decentralization is literally the core of crypto, right? That's the big selling point. That's the big unique selling point or unique advantage to being in crypto. And really the most attractive is that you own your own assets. You decide what to do with them. If you make good decisions, that's on you. And if you make bad decisions and things are lost, that's also on you, right? So it's definitely one of the core things that crypto can bring to anyone who's coming into it, or would be appealing to anyone who wants to come into it. However, one thing to note is because it's really just code and no one's trying to profit off of it directly. No one is trying to. It's not a company, right? It's not someone. It's not a face or a select group of faces behind it. So you're not getting support, really. The user experience, the interface, all of that is usually very basic because it's just wants to complete the command. That's all it's there to do. And so if you are new and you're coming to this and you're like, wow, this platform or this app seems really basic and 1990-ish, yeah, there's a reason for it, because it's just there to implement the algorithm. That's it. Okay, but let's go. I want to really show this. So all you do is you go into Google, you're going to type, or whatever search engine you have, and you're going to type in Uniswap. And so these are apps, right? They're applications. And this is a web-based app. So when you come here, you can do research, you can look into the ecosystem, community, developers, all that kind of stuff. But in order to get into the actual application itself, is you have to go, usually, it's very similar on other ones as well, where you're going to say launch the app. Okay, so in this case, top right, you're going to click on launch the app. There we go. All right, this is it. This is what Uniswap looks like. Now you probably come in here, and if you've never seen this before, you're gonna be like, is this a scam? Because this literally looks like, a child put this together in terms of what it looks like, right? Now, obviously, there's massive intellect under the hood, but in terms of design or lack thereof, like, it's nothing, right? There's no, hey, where's the button for support, right? Like, nothing's here. It's literally you transacting with somebody else, and that's it. So what is a DEX used for? It's used to, you can see up here we have swap, we have pools, voting chart. Like there's DEXs can be very basic, can be also a little bit more involved and have more things, and more the new DEXs that come out now, they are more involved. They have more things going on with them. I'm not going to get into the differences of pools and things like that. The very basic function of a DEX is you want to take one asset that you have. So in this case, they're saying ETH as the default, and you want to swap it, meaning you want to convert that into a different asset. And the amount, so let's say it's $1,000, it's still going to be 1,000 to 1,000. And there are some fees in here in terms of the gas fees, because this is an Ethereum blockchain. So you will be hit with some of those. But it's essentially you're just going from one asset to the other, right? So if you look here, it says select token. And there's a bunch. USDC, wrapped ETH, we've got REN. There's Somatic, Mana, which is Decentraland. All kinds of USDT you can do. There's so many different other tokens that you can convert. Even ApeCoin now. Okay, that's great. So there's so many different things that you can swap into and kind of just play around with it. So that's like this is as basic as it gets. Okay. What's nice is no one's gonna put you on a 24-hour hold. No one's gonna say, I don't like the way this. I haven't seen this transaction in your account before, so we're going to kind of hold off until you can verify. There's nothing, right? They're not looking at your identity. They're not looking at, they're not looking at your history. Look at anything. You literally come on here, and the next question you're going to ask, well, then how do I get stuff on here if they're not asking me for it? And all of these DEXs are going to ask you to connect a wallet. Okay. Now, when you go to connect a wallet, it's going to give you options. So you can use a Metamask, Wallet Connect, Coinbase Wallet, Fortmatic. And so it's going to use it to connect, right? So and I want to go through a transaction so you guys see what it actually looks like. And I actually want to go through how you would import a token, because sometimes it's difficult to understand. All right. So listen, if some things fly over your head while I do this, because you've never been on a DEX before, it's perfectly fine. Like, I struggled coming on here and learning for the first time. In the crypto space, the learning curve is high, but the speed at which you learn once you get past the initial resistance is very fast as well. All right, and there's always something to learn. So just watch the video again, Google some things, do what you need to do, but you will get it with time if things fly over your head a little bit right now. Okay, so basic point. I'm coming to a DEX. I want to swap one token for another. Okay, so now you ask yourself, well, how do I even get whatever token I want to swap out of onto the DEX? Okay, so I have to connect my wallet. All right, for me, that's my Metamask wallet. And so this is very important. And again, this might be one of those things that fly over. So it's saying my wrong network. And you might be like, what? How is that even possible? What does that even mean? So in Metamask, you can actually add a bunch of different networks. You can put on like Avalanche Chain. You can put on the Ethereum mainnet, which is the default, right? So you can do Polygon, all kinds of things. You can switch the network so you can interact with that blockchain. And so if you are on now, so Uniswap is a Ethereum based block. It runs on Ethereum blockchain. So if your Metamask is not connected to that network, to the ETH network, you can't do any transactions. You're not even gonna be able to connect, which is exactly what's happening here. My MetaMask is on a different network currently, and so it's giving me this notification right here. All right, so very easy to fix. All right, let's cancel it out. So you're not going to go into here, the top right again. You're not going to do any of that. You're going to go to your MetaMask icon, and this is specifically for MetaMask. The other wallets will have their nuances in how to change the network. I am, I'm familiar with and strictly specific on MetaMask. Okay, so we're going to go into MetaMask, and up here, if you guys can see, hopefully you can see this in the top corner here, it says Avalanche. And if I click on Avalanche, here it is, networks. Okay, and you can see there's the Ethereum mainnet, Polygon mainnet, Avalanche, Harmony, Binance Smart Chain. So again, we are on an Ethereum based app, so we need to be, our MetaMask needs to match that. It needs to be talking to the same network, or at least plugged into the same network. Okay, so we're going to come over here and we're just going to connect to the Ethereum mainnet. We get off, and look, it automatically connected. If for whatever reason it doesn't, you just go to connect and it will actually do that for you. Okay, so it's going to tell you, and this goes for all of them, it's going to show you your balance, right, of the token at hand. So if I were to change this and I say, oh, I have 1 inch, or let's say I have Aave, for example, it's going to show that I have a balance of 0 because I don't have any Aave in my MetaMask. All right, so let's go back to ETH. Okay, so now I have ETH, and there is a token I heard about, I've researched. I want to do something with that token, because remember, I mean, without getting into detail about pools or anything in here, chances are whatever you're going to swap into, you're doing that for a reason. You want to apply it somewhere else. You want to transfer those assets to some other platform and use it accordingly, right? Again, your MetaMask, or equivalent of a MetaMask, will be that vessel that kind of takes your assets to the platform to be used. It's like the messenger. It's going to carry it with it, right? And so here I have ETH. And obviously it's not ETH that I want to move around. I want to use my ETH, whatever assets I have, to convert it in a token that I'm going to use further on outside of this app here. Okay, so let's just make it real simple. So I want, let's say I want some ApeCoin. Okay, I want some ApeCoin. So again, we make sure obviously it's connected to the mainnet. We wouldn't get through this part anyway, but it shows me what my max balance is in ETH, and it's going to show me now how many ApeCoins I can actually buy with my max supply. All right, so 3.66 ETH, I can buy 964 Ape if I wanted to max it out. I obviously don't want to do that. Let's do this. I just want to buy, let's say I want to buy 200. And what's nice about this is that even though I may not have any Ape, I can just put in how many I want, and it'll calculate everything for me. Okay, yeah, I definitely don't want that many. So let's say, what's 50 Ape? Yeah. Okay, let's say I just want 25 Ape. That's what I want. So it's going to show me how much it's going to cost me in ETH. And okay, yeah, everything checks out. I'm good. I'm going to say swap. It's going to give me a breakdown. All right, here it is, expected output. This is the price. Okay, and then there's a network fee here. Slippage, really won't get into that. It's really about where the price point of what you're getting, maybe a little bit above or below what is being shown when the price is actually initiated, or when the trade is initiated. But we're not going to get into the nuance. It's usually pretty small, but there is a slight difference from what you see initially. Okay, so it's saying 1 Ape is this many ETH. And so all we really have to say is I just want to confirm the swap. Okay, you guys are going to see here that it pops up into your MetaMask. It shows you, okay, this is what is going to be used to convert for 25 Ape. give you a bunch of details. It'll give you gas fees. Now here's the beauty of this. Okay, when I first started this, these gas fees were through the roof. All right, we're talking about like, and you'll see that eventually too, that, you know, in really bull markets, the gas fees are like $160, $200, $300 plus. So even though my transaction is actually $290 to get 25 ape, the gas fee may be $300 more than my transaction, especially during peak times. So usually late at night or later in the night, depending on where you are, that will actually, you know, typically have lower fees. And then when we're in a down market like now, I mean, $10 for this fee or for this transaction is unbelievably cheap. Okay. So we're just going to go ahead and confirm it. Perfect. All right. Now, reason why I picked Ape 2 is because I do not have Ape in my MetaMask. All right. So I want to show you guys if it'll allow me to. Okay. So if you see here in the right of the screen here, where I have scrolling through a MetaMask, it shows you ETH, it shows you VPAD, it shows you USDT, Illuvium, and some USDC. But I don't have the actual token I'm trying to get, which is Ape. Okay. So very important here. If you don't add that token to MetaMask, you'll never see it. It doesn't mean you don't own it. It just means you don't see it. All right. So like, what does that mean? So let me go here on this transaction and I'm going to add Ape to MetaMask. So MetaMask is going to give me a notification. It says, do you actually want to import these tokens? So that's what they call it. When you're importing, when you're trying to add a token that's not visible, that you don't have in there, they call it importing. All right. So I'm going to say yes. I'm going to add that token. Okay. And there's a nice green check mark. It's been added. I'm going to close it and I'm going to look at my MetaMask and there's my 25 ape there. All right. There are times, for example, if I went to no, or if I just closed that window and I didn't say yes, I wanted to import the tokens, I would still have 25 ape, but I would never be able to see it in my actual MetaMask here. It wouldn't be here. All right. It's only when I import it from the list can I go ahead and do that. And I'm going to show you exactly how to import without being prompted. Sometimes you want to make transactions and it never prompts you to do that. And so you need to understand, how do you import a token so that you can see it without being prompted to actually import. Okay. So again, if some of this stuff is kind of flying by, it's okay. Trust me, I've been there. All right. But what's beautiful, let's take a step back. How easy was that transaction? I didn't talk to anybody. I didn't have a wait time that was in the days or the hours. I paid a minimal fee and I'm good to go now. Like, that's seamless. It's beautiful. Like, if you've ever gone to the bank and tried to wire something, get a draft, deposit a draft or a check, any interactions with the banks, you have to wait. There's also a fee associated with it. Like, this is your money and these are your assets. You should be able to freely move them as you please. And so that's the beauty of being on a DEX like this. Okay. But last thing I just want to finish off here is, how do you import a token that nobody prompts you to ever do that? So we have Ape here. So I'm not going to bother with Ape, but we're going to pick another token. We're going to go with, let's go here. Hold on. So first you import a token. You can do a search. That's one way. So let's see, what can we search for? Aave. That's one. I could do this. I can add it and just go ahead and say yes. Oh, well, let's just do it. Next. Perfect. I say import my token and now it shows up that now Aave is on my list. So again, what's nice is I can import the token and not actually transact in order to get it, right? You can just see that I have 0 Aave, but now going forward, if I ever do any transactions with Aave, where I accumulate any Aave or sell any Aave or whatever, it will actually show it up. It will the outcome and the transactions will show up in my wallet because I've made it visible. But let's say you don't have one. Let's say you can't search for it. All right. You know what? I'm going to save that. I'm going to save that one because this video is getting kind of long. So let's just kind of keep it at there. All right. Hopefully you guys seen the value of the DEX. Seamless. It's quick. There's nobody you got to call. There's nobody interrupting it or delaying the transactions. You just move. And that's the real beauty of a DEX, is you just get to move quickly. Literally, you get in, you get out, and you go about your business. And that's the entire beauty of a DEX. Hopefully you guys found some value in this video. Again, if some of the stuff you're like, what is he talking about? It's all right. It's all right. Just try and get to Uniswap's platform and play with it. You know, it might hurt a little bit in terms of gas fees or the transaction. Maybe you lose stuff, but you got to learn, because it really is that easy. All right, guys. Listen, hit the like button, subscribe, share, notification bell, all that good stuff. If you found value in the video, leave some comments below, positive or negative, doesn't matter. I'd love to hear the feedback. All right. And guys, remember, tomorrow never comes, and I'll see you in the next one.